We're going to start this off again. So what was your names again?
Sissy.
Come and have a seat. Let me just ground myself here. I know we've just heard everyone's names. I'm just going to do it again. So my name's Mikey. What's your name?
Sissy, hello.
Ceci. Yep.
Jenny.
Dan.
So I don't know. Do we need to start with a new thing? Do we need to do we need a fresh start? Do we need to? What do we want to talk about? I mean, we're here. It's Liverpool Psychedelic Festival. It's September the 23rd. It's.
Where are all the fucking psychedelics? Come and see me, please.
Okay. So, when you say where are the psychedelics, are you referring to the psychedelic technology?
No, I'm just waiting for the drugs to come from London tomorrow.
Okay, so drugs. Let's just go straight to the point. Let's talk about drugs. Is it, you want to know who's got drugs?
Yeah.
Okay, particular drugs that you're looking for?
No, everybody's looking at
Yeah?
me. No, not really.
No, you just drugs in general. Have you got an opinion of drugs?
Today we found out that the combination of ibuprofen and peppermint tea is you feel like you're stoned afterwards.
Okay. Really?
No, I
No way.
don't believe that for a second.
Yeah. Okay. So ibuprofen.
What is nice?
Yeah.
What is nice is Oxynorm. It's a heroin derivative. It's very, very pleasant, almost like codeine when you take a bit too much of it. It's very, very nice.
Is it not dangerous and addictive?
Yes, but it's very pleasant, just on the one off.
Okay, come and have a seat on the table of chat. At the moment we're talking about drugs. It's not just where we can get them, but actually we're going to try and expand the conversation to talk about, I don't know, are we being imaginative enough with our drugs? Should we be trying new substances like ibuprofen and peppermint tea? But back to the mints again. Pablo, are you going to come and take a seat? Have you got a view? Have you got a view on drugs?
Yeah, I mean, as a paradigm, it's, kind of a joke, I mean, it's whatever we decide is a drug, and, we've got these two schools of it. There's, the bad drugs, and then there's the pharmaceutical drugs, right?
Yeah.
So depending on who you are, and how much money you have, you can, label them differently and sell them differently, right? But the real problem we have is because we've made all this natural stuff illegal, you got these kids, man, what the fuck are they doing? Sniffing I don't know. It's sniffing leather, whatever.
Right.
All these synthetic powders and
They're smoking spice.
yeah, right. Refining ganja, synthetic weed. It's just some flowers. Just smoke some flowers.
And you're putting that down to a kind of social,
It's because the government haven't got the fucking sense to legalise stuff and regulate it, which means that we're all safer and we all have a better time.
Woo! Well, okay, what would it look like if the government was behaving sensibly? How would they legalise it and regulate it? What would that look like?
The same way they do alcohol and cigarettes. There's, you producers are licensed, and then they can supply the industry. You have off sales like you do in Liverpool and Glasgow.
You just get your drugs in the off license.
States a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, we do it in the States a little bit. I mean, in certain places. Denver, I mean, you ever get a chance to go to Colorado these days, it's kind of amazing. Because it's very friendly. You're treated like an adult. It's basically like going to a liquor store. Right. And first time I did it, I was scared. I was like, oh my God, I just made a purchase and now I'm on the street, right?
Yeah.
But, totally legit. Cop pulled me over, actually. And he said, excuse me, sir, is this all the marijuana you've purchased today? And I said, well, yes, officer, it is. And that was the last time he spoke of it.
And that was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Do we need to be a bit more mature about drugs and how we legislate with drugs? Is the government treating us like children in a sense by saying what we can and cannot consume?
That's the big brother government that we have at the moment, isn't it? They're watching over everything we fucking do.
Yeah.
We really have not much freedom, man. They're stifling us from the top. because they're taking our money away. So and they're taking away our social care. So they're stifling people. They're keeping people quiet.
Okay. We've got new faces to the table. So we've got Rome. We've got Pablo staying on this one because you've got the US view on this. We've got Rome. We've got Pablo. We've got Dan. We've got Jenny. What's your name?
Katie.
Katie.
Kerry.
What's she say?
Kerry, no,
Oh,
Kerry from
Kerry.
Liverpool.
Kerry. Sorry. Kerry. Sorry.
From Liverpool.
Sorry. I can't hear in the middle. So at the moment we're talking about drugs.
You're the first fucking Scouser.
We're talking.
Hello, Scouser.
Can we have a? Well, anyway, I'm not going to go there. What's that?
The first Scouser he's seen, apparently.
Yeah, believe that. You believe anything. Anyway, what we're talking about is the government treating us like children, especially when it comes to drugs. Pablo says in Colorado it's much more adult. You just go to a shop, buy some weed. It's that simple.
You paid your taxes on it.
You pay taxes on it.
Yeah. It's got an official state seal on it.
Yeah. You've got a state seal.
Yeah. So they know you've paid your taxes on it. They're not going to take it from you because you're actually paying for those police officers.
Okay. So I mean, is that how it should work in the UK?
I mean, I personally go paranoid as fuck off weed, so I'm not going to back it. But I think there should be a level of, weeds at least, you should be allowed to sell, I don't know.
Yeah, well, you're not sure about the other substances out there?
No, not really.
Okay. All right.
It's mostly been used to persecute minorities and to keep the poor regulated, really. I mean, cocaine wasn't illegal at least in the United States till about 100 years ago, right?
It's not how people use it though, it's how people abuse it. And you see a lot of people, and I work with a lot of downtrodden people who do genuinely abuse drugs. So I would never back the legality of Class A, maybe even a couple of Class B drugs.
How do you feel about alcohol abuse, things that, alcohol abuse, things that are legal, which the government sanctions?
Okay, is alcohol the same as these Class A drugs? It
is very the same. The problem is that, you things like alcohol has always been, what there was prohibition however many years ago, but it's always it's been naturalised to everyone that it's not a drug. It is, and they make money off it. That's why it's the same as tobacco.
But, I mean,
they make money off it. It took years for tobacco sources to be reined in, which
the people that you work with,
it's like the people that I do work with, I see a lot of drug abuse and I see a lot of alcohol abuse too.
Would they,
so it's like you can't quite differentiate one to the last. Alcohol's the only drug that you can actually die from coming off, as opposed to any other drug.
Right, so it's actually the most dangerous.
The part of rehabilitation for alcohol abusers is worse. Do you know what I mean? And I think that gets lost a lot in society because it is.
So the thing is, should alcohol not be illegal? And if it's the worst thing to come off of it, if it's worse for you, then why is that legal and other drugs are not?
It really is technically poison. I mean, it's alcohol. No matter how you look at it, it's poison. There's no benefits to drinking it. I mean, they try to say there's a little bit of health benefits, this, that, and the other thing, but the substance itself, I mean, you're poisoning your body when you get intoxicated, and that's why we feel so good.
And it's like the next day when you wake up off alcohol. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a sufferer of anxiety and all stuff, but I get anxiety once I've drank. The next day I am a bag of nerves. I am awful, but I persist on drinking. Whereas if I take a drug sometimes I'm like, I'm not taking that again because I'll be awful the next day. Do you know? But whereas alcohol, I wouldn't associate that. I'd just be like, oh yeah, I felt 100 times worse.
Are there better drugs out there than alcohol that will give you the same effect as alcohol? Should we be drinking something else?
There's a lot of drugs out there that'll give you better effects than alcohol. Ask after people here, but you know what I mean? It's like alcohol's alcohol, drugs are drugs. So it's like whatever your question is, whether it's alcohol, drugs. Each drug is different. You could ask me how I feel on weed, or you could ask me how I feel on mushrooms, or you could ask me how I feel on coke, and it's all different, or alcohol.
So now they're starting to do test runs with MDMA and looking at depression and many other things, anxiety, like microdosing. The same with psilocybin as well, microdosing. And at the moment they're fucking illegal because the government's stupid and we're not regulating it properly.
Why do you think?
Yeah, ketamine too. Yeah, absolutely. I love a bump. Thank you very much. Anyone's got any? Lovely.
Why?
It's the same. They've been using ketamine in tests lately to show that it does actually help for depression. Small doses, not the way we would, like people would take it as a recreational drug. But ketamine
When I took ketamine last time, I definitely wasn't depressed.
Depression. And if you actually take ketamine, it's very different the next day to how you feel off a line of coke as opposed to ketamine, and it's very different.
Hang on a sec, Dan. I just want to open this up to Ceci and Jenny and Rowan and what I mean, have we not? Can we not evolve better drugs than either alcohol or some of the other drugs that have got these negative side effects?
It's got great ones anyway. It's just.
But everything has a negative side effect. Happiness has a negative side effect.
Happiness has a negative.
It does, because you're happy and the next minute you're sad, and it's like you can fall in love and you're top of the world.
Has love got a negative side effect?
Yeah, obviously. It does.
Okay.
Everyone does.
Yeah.
Everyone has a negative.
Okay.
Everyone.
Okay.
If there wasn't a negative side effect to anything, if there wasn't there wouldn't be a dime.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't just be
Yeah. What's that?
Get rid of the side effects.
Yeah. Okay, so love is a drug with serious side effects. Has it? I mean, is it possible?
You're right though.
No, she's right. It's absolutely right because you get depleted. Your serotonin levels will get depleted at some point.
Right.
It's the same as taking pills. It happens, and it can take a lot of time.
And then you're after.
But you fall in love, and it's in love, and you're insane, and it's all crazy, and then it just depletes. Everyone depletes. If there wasn't a happy, if there wasn't a high, there wouldn't be a low, and we wouldn't be here talking about it. But there is.
Okay, so love is a very dangerous drug. Is it something that should be legislated against? So that.
You physically could never legislate against love.
Could you
because then
legislate-
we're going into like bloody may as well live in South Korea.
Come and have a seat. Come sit down. Sit down.
Trying to hear the general concern.
Yeah, well, sit down. You don't have to say. He's not said much. You don't have to say anything. Come sit down. Don't be shy. We got Rowan. We got Dan. We got Ceci. We got Ceci. We got Jenny. We got Kerry. And what's your name? Rebecca and Mikey. I mean, we're talking about drugs and which drugs should be legal and which drugs should be illegal. There's an implication.
You got past that and we were on to love.
I know. Well, I'm coming to that.
Becky is currently with child.
Right.
So we literally just.
I mean, should the drug of love be legislated against? Yeah, because Kerry has said that love is a potentially dangerous.
Say love. I said love is as bad as any drug. I said like you get your. We didn't even say that. I said we went from lows to highs on drugs. I said you can have your natural emotions are as bad as any drug.
But should we then ban love because of those come downs that are potentially dangerous come downs?
No.
What's that?
We all want love.
We all want love.
That's it.
But that's because you're addicted.
To love, yeah, because love is an addiction.
So it's okay to be addicted to love.
Yes.
Okay.
You might as well face it, you're addicted to love.
I think we are facing it. What's your name?
Mark.
What's it? Mark, we got Rebecca, we got Kerry. What's your name? Francesca, take a seat. Have a seat. We've got Ceci, we've got Jenny, we've got Dan, we've got this man who's wavering. I mean, love, I mean, it's an addiction. Is there any kind of like services to help those love addicts? You work with alcohol and heroin addicts, but what about love addicts?
You love what you love, so you can't have a love. Well, you can have a love. You can have people who fall in love very easy as opposed to people who don't. So I think love's a natural instinct, so you can't regulate it. You can't regulate people's natural instincts, otherwise we'd all be robots. And you want to regulate love.
Yeah, but what about the dangerous side effects?
But why regulate love if you're not going to regulate anything of the real dangers? What's so dangerous about love?
Okay. Okay, hang on a second.
I imagine a big proportion of psychotherapy is basically the rehabilitation for a love addiction. I mean,
Yeah, you think that actually people are being rehabilitated from love?
yeah, I imagine so. I mean,
Okay.
I've got friends who are psychotherapists, and they say that a lot of their clients are basically, in some way, shape, or form, complaining about their love lives. So,
Okay. So love is a dangerous thing, and we need therapies. We need to. Yep.
Yeah, no, I'm just
You're just agreeing, yeah. Okay.
It's a dangerous thing now, and it's like it is as dangerous as any other drug, but it's
Yeah.
your natural emotion. So
Okay.
it's like you can recreationally take drugs, but you can't recreationally take love. If you fall in
Yeah.
love with it or whatever, it's your choice.
Could you help somebody come off of love by substituting it with like another drug? Is that-
No, love is life.
Is love like the prime drug, like the top drug in a way?
No, it's life.
Yeah.
Simple.
It's life
Not
itself.
addictive. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
it's good. Being in love is the best feeling in the world.
But what about the other side? And what about the
You know,
hangover?
Then you have to.
The best but the worst feeling when it ends.
Yeah.
The best but the worst.
Okay.
Then you know you're alive. When you feel the pain of the love breaking and ending,
Yeah.
that's when you know you're alive.
Yeah.
You need the pain to make you realise what love is.
Yeah.
So you need to have that pain.
Okay.
Otherwise
yeah,
you'll never
okay.
truly
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Right, Dan, we've moved off of drugs now. We're talking about love. We're talking about love. Yeah.
So people think they're addicted to love. It's not. You're addicted to attention. That thing, because you only fall
You're
in
not
love.
addicted to love.
You can't be addicted to love. No, you can be addicted to attention. You fall in love. You can't be addicted to it. What you get.
So
get
what
that-
you're saying is that Robert Palmer should have said you might as well face it. You're addicted to attention.
Yeah. Obviously, it wouldn't work quite so well, but
Yeah, it wouldn't roll, but
Yeah,
yeah.
but he still had sexy girls on stage. Like,
What's that? What's that?
Love and attention are very different things. This is attention.
Okay.
Love is love.
Anyway, I've got to give
Love
attention.
is love.
I've got to give attention to this person over here. What do you face to say? What's your name?
Hey, John.
John. John. We got Dan. We got Jenny. We got Ceci. We got Kerry. We've got Rebecca. We got Francesca and Mark and Rowan and Mikey. We're talking about love. That's what I do. And I think it's a kind of love. It's a love for people in general. It's a generalised love. And it is addictive as well. It's addictive. Doing this is addictive.
no, man, not love.
Is it?
Yeah, it's attention. You like the attention. You like people like talking to you and appreciating you because you've got a great memory and you remember everybody's name.
Love. Have you ever been in love? Or have you just always lusted after attention?
Okay. Okay, so we got
But they're talking about purely romantic love. What about actual, love from your family, love from your friends, like not sexual, not romantic, just general love?
It would be in a romantic setting, so like true love. Like there's unrequited love, which is my son's, my 12-year-old boys. That I love them, but that's not. I don't need any attention from them. That's just.
Okay, so
But
it's two
that, no,
different.
it's a different. No, that's.
Okay, let's try and define love. What is the definition of love? John, can you help us? No, not really.
I mean, I was about to say, my kind of issue is that it comes down to semantics because we can't define it. Yeah. Because we can't define it, if you're saying like it's just that we're addicted to attention, surely that's an aspect of love because it just encompasses so many different things that.
Yeah, it's okay. Is attention just one of the aspects of love? Can someone else help us define love?
Like attention's a part of life. Attention's not a part of love. Like it's not.
Yeah.
Like you love, and like when you love, you get attention, or when you love someone, you crave attention. Attention is not actually hands in hands with love. It's hands in hands with your personality. It's how you are. If you
Okay.
are an attention seeker,
Rebecca?
and you want to be that type of person, then you always get
Attention and love. You don't.
Yeah.
You do.
You don't know. You can love without attention.
Yeah.
It's not that's why I'm saying it's not hands in hands. Love and attention aren't hands in hands. Attention is attention. I love attention. But
Okay.
doesn't mean everyone I get attention off I love. Do you know what I mean? So I'm sat here with a microphone in my face,
Yeah.
screaming about the difference.
I pay a lot of attention when there's a mosquito or a spider in my room. I really don't love it.
Okay, so attention can be fear. It can be fear.
Attention.
Okay. Have we really defined love? We've said that attention could or couldn't be an aspect.
For me, contentment.
Contentment.
Yeah.
What are you content about with love?
That I feel I've you know, when I've been in love, that I felt I found my partner.
You feel kind of whole.
Connected.
Yeah, connected. Okay.
Yeah.
Love. Maybe I'll go with a definition of love or help. Just throw a word in, Francesca.
Being happy, really.
Yeah. Okay.
Like secure.
Being absolutely hurt.
Hurts. Yeah.
She has just had her heart broken.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Like 9 months ago, so I'm over it now, but I'm bitter.
Okay.
No, I'm not. I just think it's like, no, I am. But I just think it's like, love is love, isn't it? You can't put a definition. You can't physically put a definition, because I've been in love 3 times, and each person I've loved differently since I was 16. I'm 26 now, over 10 years. And everyone else I have loved differently. And I love my sister differently. I love my best mate differently, and I loved all the other fellas differently to another person.
What are you saying, Jenny?
It's chemicals in your brain.
Okay. But how does that change? How does that change the feeling of love? The fact that it's chemicals.
Doesn't really change anything, it's just science.
Okay, it's science, but does that change anything? I mean, from a scientific perspective.
We're only here because of science, so every emotion you feel is because of science. Happiness, sadness, what does it matter?
I mean,
one out of things.
Yeah, okay, so call it science actually diminishes.
You could live your life saying, oh, my hair is long and better than yours because of science, or like my hair is better because of genes, or this is better. It's all science, but like love is not science, it's your individual feelings.
I'm not trying to explain love by science, I'm just saying that's why it's not explainable, because it's so weird and random.
Okay, so
that's why you can't explain love.
It can't be explained because we don't know that we can't understand the science. Okay, coming over the seat, we're talking about the nature of love. Can love ever be explained? We've got Dan, we've got Jenny, we've got Ceci, we've got Kerry, we've got Rebecca, we've got Francesca and Mark and Rowan. What's your name?
Sebastian.
Sebastian. What's your name? What's your name?
Pauline.
Polly.
Pauline. Pauline.
Pauline, okay. And I'm Mikey. And at the this is quite serious. Kerry's had her heart broken. And you know, this is serious. This is big stuff. This is big stuff. This is big. This is big stuff. This is big.
Because I'll tell you the 3 situations that happened.
Yeah. This is big stuff. But the question is, you know, can we define that? Can we actually? Are we all in a way destined to go through this cycle of love and loss? Yes. Is that just our destiny? Is there anything we can do? Yeah. Do we actually want to avoid this?
Unless you're willing to be satisfied with. Try to say this.
I'm going to come back to you, Dan, in a minute. It's a difficult one.
I feel like you love the microphone. No, I feel like you can't. You love every single person you fall in love with. It's different. So it's like every single person that I fell in love with is different from the last one. And there's been some perfect boyfriends. There've been some terrible boyfriends.
Have you
grown? When you fall in love, massively. Every time, massively. I have. I mean, I've never moved on from that same abusive type of person, but I've grown.
Adapted yourself to suit other people.
No, she hasn't. I will speak honestly on your behalf. You have not adapted yourself. How?
Okay, why do you say that?
Because the 3 breakups have always had the same complaints about about you.
Okay, I'm not. No, I think. No, okay. Anyway, have we got any insights from this side of the table? Are we destined to make the same mistakes? Is it different? Do you grow?
Obviously, 3 relationships in, and obviously, the last 10 years, nothing's changed.
Okay, well, has it? I mean, from your point of view,
I feel like I've changed. I was better in the last relationship. Mine are a few faults, but the last way it happened, it wasn't my fault.
Okay, so
no one has fault.
So you grow, but maybe the passion stays the same. Any experience from this side? Any advice about love?
I don't know. When you fall in love with someone, you fall in with someone who's not real. You fall in love with like a version of yourself,
with your projection,
and then it comes out.
Okay, so it's about actually you're in love with with an idea of a person, not the person itself.
Gone Girl? Has anyone ever seen Gone Girl? And
No.
she says, it's not me, I'm not that bad. Gone Girl, and she literally says, when you meet someone, you're this ideal girl when you first meet someone. Once you finally get to know them and you know them, it changes, it's different. And it is, when you meet someone, you're all for each other, you're this airy-fairy fun, and then when you settle down, it changes. You want to stay in, they want to go out, you want to eat takeaways, it changes.
Okay.
That's just the ups and downs of a relationship. That's not necessarily love, is it? You know, love is something you don't have any control over. Not in my limited experience, at least.
I mean, but there is this point that when you first meet someone, you're kind of on best behaviour, and then when you start to relax, you show the real you.
No. You have to. That's a mistake. You have to start as you mean to go on. You have to be you. You have to be the open book.
Okay. Sorry, Mark. Let me just get a final thought from Dan, and I'm going to come to.
I don't think you can really truly love someone else unless you really truly love yourself.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good.
Because you can't really make another person happy if you're not.
Are you capable of loving someone else?
Yeah, I'm in love. I'm beautifully in love.
Okay, cool. Was it? Yeah.
I was going to say, maybe it's already been uttered, but I was going to say, like, I don't think we fall in love with people. I think we fall in love with ideas, not people.
Okay, do we fall in love with an idea, not a person? That's what Rowan says. Sebastian, Pauline, have you got any views on this? What do you think about love? Is it a roller coaster? Does it have to be like that?
The last relationship, and I was like a better person than I've ever been, and I was rewarded with like awfulness, and it was like I was like a better person than I've ever been with him, and it was like you just don't know what you're in terms of that relationship. I didn't know what I was getting into, and it got worse and worse and worse.
Okay.
Your point though of falling in love with an idea, because you fell in love with this idea of a person, how he aesthetically how he was, and love should not be like that, because if it was true love and if you were meant to be, then it would have, as Mark said, it would have lasted. You would have had the ups and downs, and he would have accepted your highs, your lows, your ups and downs, and it would have worked out.
If it would have been like that, then it would have been like that, but it was just, it ended in like
disaster. Okay, is there any? Has anyone got anything? Any words of advice? Any experiences? Any similarities with this story?
I'm just going to say you have to give as much as you take.
Yeah. Okay.
It has to be balanced.
Do people agree with that? You have to give as much. We're talking about love and hate and giving as much. Come and have a seat. We've got Ceci, we've got Jenny, we've got Jack, we've got Pauline, we have got Sebastian and Rowan and Mark and
Jeff.
Jeff, that's right. And what's your name?
Liz.
And
Catherine.
Catherine, welcome. My name's Mike here. At the moment, this is Talkaoke, it's a freeform talk show. We're talking about the nature of love and the nature of hate. And there's been this idea floating around that in order to love, you've got to love yourself. But then Jack mentioned it's the same with hate. The people that project hate outwards hate themselves inwardly. But then you're saying, Rowan, maybe is it that way? And then we're talking about, do we need to actually give in the world in a way to give something of yourself in order to get something back? And that's where we are right now. So make of that what you will.
Well, I think love in general is entirely about giving. It can't be about taking.
Right.
It's sort of like an ironic thing, but you fill yourself up by giving outward.
So in a way, you're sort of disagreeing with Mark a little bit that it's more about giving than the taking back.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe it is, but like someone said that you can only, like true love, you can only have with your children, because then you're only giving and you're not expecting anything back. But like with loving someone else, like being in love.
Romantic love.
It's romantic love.
You expect
exactly.
something back.
You expect something back because there needs to be some movement, and you can't only give and get nothing back.
If not expect, at least hope for something back. Yeah. Okay.
I like this idea of there's like many different types of love. You have romantic, you have paternal, you have maternal, you have that family stuff, and then you can love like objects and ideas, and all these things are so much bigger than ourselves, and all those I think can be a little bit stronger than something like romantic love, because there's less conflict there, you know, because when you're loving something that almost can't love you back, it's like a more pure experience.
Yeah. I mean, does that diminish the love? If you're hoping for something back, does it diminish it, or do you think that's kind of fair enough?
I don't think so. I think it's the most powerful version, you know, because we feel so empty a lot of the time, and if you can fill yourself up with something that can never like harm you in that way, then that's sort of freeing for a human, I think.
Okay, powerful. We're talking about powerful forces here. Have you got any views on this?
I'm just taking it in.
You're taking it in, yeah. Anything? No?
Not currently.
I mean, where do we want to go with this conversation? Do we want to talk about like how to give? Because you know you made this point, Sebastian, about giving and this kind of outward projection. How do we do that? How do we project our love into the world without seeming weird?
One thing I think is that love is really truly about like action, and not just it's not a feeling, it's something you do, because feelings are so nebulous that I feel like there's not something concrete enough there to really
so what are the actions then?
It's what you do. It's what you do for a person, like that level of like caring you can give, rather than just feeling something it's not enough. Like it's what you do.
Okay, are you concurring with that, Pauline?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Okay, can you give us an example?
No.
No? Okay. So it's actually about doing stuff in the end. You can't just go, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you all. But that's what I kind of do. I don't do that much. I just say it. Yeah. So you think, Jeff, that it's much more about the actions.
Yeah, I think it's actions over words, over emotions. I mean, we picture love as this emotion, but I really think in terms of what we can understand as people in the world, it's got to be concrete things you can do.
Okay, so about doing stuff. Final thoughts, Pauline, Sebastian. Final thoughts.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Do you agree?
I agree, definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
With your
do you think you'll be doing some more actions?
Yeah, actions.
Yeah. Okay. Jack.
What do you want?
Are you look, because you've got your hand like that, which suggests you're about to make an action of leaving.
Yeah.
Have you got a final thought for us before you go? I mean, in a way, your kind of strand about hate didn't really get taken up, and do you think we're not really willing to discuss this question of hate, as much as we are about love?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. They are similar. They're the same things, but they're at different ends of the spectrum of the same spectrum.
Yeah.
Of emotion, and
I mean, is it the same then for hate, that if you act on hate, then it's much more powerful than if you just think it?
Not to yourself. I think it'd be the same level of self-hate. As long as it's in you. I think as long as it's internal.
Yeah.
It's
so it's not necessarily about actions with hate.
No.
Okay. Interesting. Thank you, Jack. Okay, give us a final thought.
What?
Final thought.
Final thought.
Do you feel that this conversation?
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Has it helped you? Has it helped you to love?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Cool.
Probably.
How?
By seeing everybody is the same.
Yeah.
Everybody's thinking the same things, and everybody's wondering, and everybody. Yeah.
We all want to love in a way, don't we? Yeah. Final thought.
You're an impressive guy. Thank you. It was fun, but we have to go.
Here is our cards. Because you can have one. In fact, so one I just give one out to everybody. There we go. There we go. It's me giving. Thank you. Okay, so where are we going to go with this conversation? Come and sit down. Come and get involved. Yeah. Okay.
I'm really interested in this idea of because we're at a festival with so many people.
Yeah.
And we're obviously in a culture sort of around social media and putting ourselves out there. I think I'm really interested in exploring this idea of connection and what that means, sort of in the modern context.
Yeah.
You know, because I think the idea of connection is constantly changing and evolving as we like grow our technological landscape.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
like, what is connection now?
Okay. All right. We got a new face to say. What's your name?
Jen.
Jen.
Yep.
Mate, we're talking about connection. You're off. Okay. Yep.
My final thought would be, I hope we all find love.
Okay. Have you found love? Are you off to find love now?
Who knows? I might meet the person of my dreams in 10 minutes or 10 years.
Okay, well, good luck with that. Connection we're talking about now. Sorry, you missed the love conversation. We're on to connection now.
I think those are related too. I don't think we have to ditch the topic. I think this
it's a smooth transition.
You know, love is sort of the umbrella, but I think connection is the most important way that we're experiencing love now in this ultra connected age with social media and the way we're experiencing the Internet of Things and how that's changing how we relate to other people.
Okay. So this is Talkaoke. Come and have a seat. At the moment, we're talking about connection. What I tend to do in a situation like this is I've got this technique called turning the mirror, because you've raised that question, but I feel that you've got an idea about how to connect to people better, how to better connect to people. That's what I feel. I might be wrong, but
I think it's about relating and sort of opening up, and I think everyone has levels of trauma and insecurity that are sort of embedded through culture and their family and all these things, and the more we open up about our wounds and sort of where we're coming from and talk about our stories, we're able to understand each other better, because then you go, oh, I've been there too, and it's an idea of relating beyond just culture and songs, which are beautiful things. And I think that this festival is a great celebration of that. Is like, I like that band too, and I like that song, and those things are a great way to relate. But what if we talk more about who we are and what our deepest, darkest experiences are, our painful stories?
Yeah, I mean, we had that bit. I don't know if you were here when Kerry was talking about her breakup and how she was in love and it went wrong, and in a way, what I'm thinking. Come have a seat. Can we get involved? We're talking about how to connect, and that definitely does. People connect with that, and people can relate to that, and it is a deeper connection. Jen, have you got any thoughts on this? Do you think we need to? Do you agree at least with this idea that we need to connect better? We're not connecting enough.
How can I speak for we? I can only speak for me.
Yeah. Do you feel connected?
Yep.
Okay. What's your secret?
Openness, listening.
Okay. Openness and listening. Okay. Cool.
I think that's a key element. Is just letting ourselves be vulnerable in an age where there is some level of vulnerability with social media, where you're presenting sometimes the intimate details of life, but also social media can be a curtain where you're only showing sort of
the successes,
this highlight reels. And is there real vulnerability if you're not willing to show the pain you're experiencing at the end of the day? And I think that is where we really connect, is through pain.
Okay.
I guess there's a worry that it comes off as narcissistic. Listening, I think, is a stronger method of connecting than sharing, only because if you share and it's not reciprocated, you feel far more disconnected. Whereas if you're listening, someone is going to connect with you. And I think that then might lead to sharing, but I think just sharing for the sake of it is probably actually going to alienate more than, bring you closer with someone.
Okay. We've got any face to table. What's your name?
Hello, I'm Chris.
Was it?
Chris.
Jen. We got Jen. We got what was it again?
Catherine
and
Liz
and Jeff. We know by now, and Rowan. And my name's Mike here, and we're talking about how to connect. Are we connecting enough? And Jeff has proposed this idea, which is a very strong idea, that we need to open up more and talk about our pain, our vulnerabilities, things that we're unhappy with, and that, especially on social media, and that will help us connect with each other, and that will help us, feel better about ourselves, because we realise we're all kind of the same. I don't know if you've got a view on that, or
I don't. I don't use social media.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't agree with it. Twat book, I call it.
Twat book.
Twat book, yeah. Social media is the dustbin of our society.
Okay, is it a dustbin? Yeah.
I think a lot of like older people, like not saying that's a bad thing, think of social media as a bad thing, whereas I think like mine and Catherine's generation think of it as a good thing, and it is a good thing because you're connecting with people who you can't connect with otherwise. You know what I mean? Like from like different countries and stuff like that.
And what about this question about what you show on social media? Do you think
it's definitely a line that you know people cross sometimes? Because I mean, it can open up to like bullying and stuff like that. But I think if you're a good person, obviously you're not going to do that, and you know when something's going wrong. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, come on and have a seat. Yes. At the moment we're talking about social media. Should we be opening up on social? Chris doesn't like social media.
Can I just say? Can I just say, I've just arrived for the first time today at Liverpool Psych Fest, and somebody's walked off from £100 vaporiser, and I do have cancer, and I do kind of hang on to that, and it's kind of spoiled my night. Yeah. Could you just, if anybody sees
what does it look like?
Oh,
it's square
just a big ugly brutish thing. Yeah.
Has anybody seen Chris's vape? Is that man over here? There's a vape somewhere that belongs to Chris. Anyway, what's your name?
Tom.
And we got Jen, we got Chris, we got Catherine, and we got
Liz.
Liz. And we got Jeff, and we got Rowan, and my name's Mikey. And we're talking. There's a few things we're talking about connecting. Should we be connecting more on social media? Is it a good thing? Is it like a kind of narcissism? That's what we're talking about at the moment.
It is nice.
Yeah. I mean, I think that everything is about balance, and it's not necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. It's a tool, and tools are all about how you use them. They're not inherently good or bad. And I think that humanity has a duality, and we need to understand that we can at any time make the actions that are right and good, and I think anyone can use anything properly. There's no good or bad. I think it's all about how we use it and how we choose to connect. It's a choice.
Yeah. Is the tool fit for purpose, do you think?
Is the tool fit for purpose?
Yeah, I mean, because the tool can be well designed, like Chris's vape, or it can be badly designed.
I think humanity decides the purpose of something.
Yeah.
That's our sort of our role, is that we're constantly making those decisions
and repurposing stuff.
Yeah, that's the power of humanity. Is we say we want this and not that, and that gives us power.
Okay, we're talking about social media. We've got a couple of new faces over here. Very quickly, get your names.
JC
and
Simon.
And you've got a point, Rowan?
I'd say like the method of connection is superfluous to how you use it. I mean, I flipping love Facebook for certain things, but I think it's awful for other things. So I'd kind of like share, but also disagree with what Chris says about it being like the toilet of our generation, of the whatever society. Because I've had some fantastic experiences connecting with people on it that I could not connect to in other ways, like kind of what Liz was saying. But conversely, I think it's awful that people resort to it. I think maybe is more the case.
People resort to social media.
Yeah,
what does that mean?
Because it's easy to just like something rather than say, hey, that idea you had was actually really clever. And I much prefer that kind of in-person communication to Facebook, but then you might not be able to connect with someone that you don't really know that well. So it does depend. I think it's much more contextual than just being a good or bad issue.
I agree. I think some things with Facebook these days, like if you want to go and see bands, you need to be on Facebook to find out where they're playing. But a lot of things on Facebook I find really horrible.
I found out about this festival because of Facebook.
Right.
Through Facebook.
Okay. But would you be willing, because what Jeff's saying is that he's saying people should be willing to reveal their inner pain and feelings.
I think that would make Facebook better if everyone wasn't just all positive and everything's amazing, and then if everyone was honest about how they felt, I think that would be a lot better.
Okay.
I think just one minor point is
I always think it's interesting to see that social media in certain parts of the world, it's potentially doing an amazing thing, spreading democracy in theory. But in the Western world, it feels like it's having a much more negative effect in a lot of different ways, especially at the moment, the current climate of what they call fake news and things like this. But it seems to have that completely different effect in other parts of the world. They're desperate for it to come in.
So, I mean, what is this negative effect and why is it happening?
Anyone else?
Well, you mentioned the fake. You mentioned the
peer pressure comes into play in the negative aspects of social media. Peer pressure, especially in the younger.
So everyone has to do what everyone else is doing, kind of thing. Okay. Liz?
I think the thing with peer pressure as well is that I've seen a lot of kids getting like iPhones and stuff like that, whereas when I was like that age, like say around 10 or 11, we didn't have phones, like iPhones, and like they've all got like Instagram and like Twitter and stuff like that, and I feel like that's at such a young age and you put in such a pressure on them to like look a certain way.
But aren't they learning to use the tool? Isn't that helpful so they can learn to use the tool?
There's a very small percentage of society that have the ability to use that tool to the best of its ability.
Okay, so most people are not competent to use the tool. Are most people not competent to use the tools of social media?
Wilsonian idealism, but
what?
Wilsonian idealism, but there you go.
What? Can you just explain? I don't know what that is.
I'm sorry, but I'm coming up on this acid. So conversations are becoming a little bit difficult.
I think it may be becoming difficult but interesting. I'm not sure. I just don't know what this.
The Wilsonian idealism dictates that the privileged elect few know better than the
plebs.
Than the plebeians,
Okay, so all right.
I think one thing it really does seem to be doing is channeling us into sort of different bubbles. So we're existing in our own virtual world, which I suppose can be useful, but it's really separating us from real life in that way. But we do exist in a bubble where, and it comes into the fake news thing, where we only have the news we want to read, reconfirming our own biases. We just expanding this bubble that we live in, and
so we just want to confirm our own view of reality. Okay.
I mean, I think there is that opportunity for discourse to happen, within that realm. I mean, Facebook being a very obvious one where, you're connected to a certain bubble of people, but every once in a while there's that one person who's a little bit outside of your bubble and you're able to have some kind of discussion and, the level of integrity of that discussion is sort of always dubious, because it's not face to face, and there's a level of a curtain there, but it is possible, I think, to have real discussions, and we need to honor that.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, so there are the discussions sometimes where it goes. Where you accidentally are friends with somebody you disagree with, and then you can have this productive discussion. But you're saying, I think, Jeff, that sometimes it's not the best place or the best manner to have that discussion. We're talking about social media. It's a tool that can be used well or badly. Is it just reinforcing our own worldviews? Is it a way to actually encounter other views, other perspectives? Have you got a view on this? What's your name?
My name?
Yeah.
My name is Dirk. Dirk, yes.
Have you got a view on this?
Yeah, but not I'm not a Facebook user, so.
No. But do you see?
But I see the positive things on of Facebook. So it connects people. It's an easy tool to use, and but it also I'm worried that it's probably been said before, but it also contributes darker sides of human nature, and it's amplifying human condition, like the good or the bad. I vary.
So in a way, it's a kind of it heightens all of that. You got any face? What's your name?
What was this? What's the question?
I haven't given you a question yet. The question is, what's your name? That's the first.
Jay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, at the moment we're talking about. I guess we started talking off about love and then connection, and then we sort of Jeff's proposed that we need to be more open on social media, but just generally in life as well, about our vulnerability, our pain, our anxieties, all those things, and then we can connect better. And then it moved on to social media. Is this the place, the forum to do this? Could it be the forum to do this? And that's where we are really right now. I mean, is it a good tool? Is it exposing the darker sides? That's really...
I think it's quite interesting what you're saying about amplifying people's views or opinions, because it really does that. And also, previously you were possibly about to discuss sort of rules and things, or are people skilled to use it? And now pretty much everyone uses Facebook in terms of, you know, your mum or your auntie or whatever is on there, and it's almost like I mean, certain people now, younger people won't express their views on it because they're worried that everyone's on there, so they're going to see it. But actually, you know, if I'm reading my local newspaper on it and you read the comment section on it, this is a typical thing in the UK. It's just, you know, racism, homophobia, all this. People put all this crazy stuff on, which is awful and illegal, and they don't realise that you're in the public domain here. And actually, someone like me and my friends won't really use Facebook to express our views or anything like that. We've kind of got unwritten rules now that, you know, we don't do that. We don't post stuff on there. You know, if I want to post a photo, I'll use a different app because I don't want my grandmother or my boss to see it on Facebook.
Right. Jay?
Yeah, like I definitely agree with that, but I was gonna say, like, I think Facebook as well is like a tool, like an advertising tool mainly, to kind of get us to define ourselves and then to sell us shit based on the definition that we've given ourselves. And I think if we can like hijack it and use it for like to break the structures, as opposed to, you know, like we should hijack the internet and like use that as a tool to like fucking proliferate love and acceptance throughout whatever, you know what I mean? Just do away with structure, you know what I mean?
I mean, I think that's what everyone around the table wants to do. That seems to be the consensus. But how to do it, I think, is the question.
Like, so since Facebook began, I've been tagging my photos in random locations around the world, a restaurant in Zanzibar, whatever, anything, the most random things I can find. Tagging my friends as like a boat in the background and just random shit like that to fuck with the algorithms. And so over time, my adverts are just absolute gibberish. They're not tailored to me, they're just random shit. I got one for like cricket bat oil. Which just based on nothing.
But is that enough to do what Jay's talking about?
It's a step in the right direction. I think fucking with the system in minor mischievous ways says a lot. It doesn't get you in trouble, but it actually has some effect in the real world.
I think the bigger a system gets, the more subversive we need to be in order to sort of undermine the way that culture is engineered, I guess, through media. And, you know, one thing that really worries me is the way that, you know, these tech companies and these places in Silicon Valley, USA, are what they call brain hacking. We're brain hacking people. We're figuring out the algorithms that best suit people's eyeballs on their apps for the longest amount of time. And I think that's a really dangerous and unethical way for them to, you know, serve up advertisements and make money and all those things. But that's their ultimate goal, is get your eyeballs on that app for as long as possible. And they'll do all kinds of things like withhold likes and find the pattern of your use on Instagram, on Facebook, on Snapchat. They find your pattern of use, and they make sure that you're looking at that the most possible amount, and that has to do with your brain chemicals, the positivity chemicals around like endorphins and dopamine. All these, they've learned how to hack those, and that's a really dangerous idea because that's our bodies. You know, that's our ownership, and if we let these companies take over and sort of control
our minds,
our lives, our livelihoods, and we have to be very careful to protect that as we move forward as human beings.
Okay.
I think going back to the idea of connections, Facebook is great for staying in touch with people. Like I have relatives in Virginia that like it's the great way to keep in touch with them, but it's also a very dangerous.
Do you feel like your brain is being hacked?
Kind of, yeah. It's,
It has whether you want it to or not.
I mean, is it possible to be subversive in an environment where someone's hacking into your brain and actually, like almost like a marionette puppet, kind of playing with your, you know, what's going on in the very kind of epicenter of your feelings? Is it possible to be subversive in that context?
The views of the individual are always subversive. They're always viewed as subversive, you know what I mean? Unless it comes to this like filter of like from bottom up, then it's always subversive.
Right, so just expressing your view by itself.
In any way, any individual who expresses the view is always subversive,
Okay.
I think just briefly, I think in order for it to function properly as a connecting tool, then it's a bit like democracy. In that if it's going to work, people have got to understand it and learn about it at school first. I've always thought people should be trained in democracy in school, and children now are, I believe, taught about etiquette on social media because in fact in the UK they're not bringing in a law that says you're going to have the right to wipe your internet, your social media history. As a child and these kinds of things because it's kind of you're kind of let loose and you make mistakes on it, but if we're kind of educated a bit, that's the point of liberty, isn't it? Freedom to the individual, but it only works if you understand what you're doing.
But are you free if your brain is being hacked, even if you know what you're doing?
Don't know the answer to that one.
Okay, I mean it's a big one, it's a tough one. It's kind of coming up actually to 8 o'clock, so it's time for us to get final thoughts. So
I'm going to take off. So the final thought I want to leave you with is, when I first came here, we were talking about love and then sort of about connection, and I think that and the idea of love being an action over a feeling, and I think the most important thing to remember is that I think that he mentioned it earlier is the idea of listening being an amazing act of love. Just listening to another person and what their story is and where they're coming from is one of the greatest acts of love you can do, and luckily this this allows for some great listening here and some idea sharing, so thank you very much.
Thank you for some amazing contributions, Jeff. Hopefully you'll be back tomorrow if you're around. Final thoughts?
I think if our brains are being hacked, then it's already been done and we can't do anything about it, so we'll just have to deal with it.
Okay, that's the world we live in, and that's that. We can unhack our brains. Okay, I'm coming to your final thought in a minute. I'm going around. Final thought.
I think we just have to be very careful with social media, what we do on them.
Okay, final thought, Dirk. Final thought. What's your last thought?
My last thought. I cannot. My last thought is. I have no last thought.
Okay.
I'm always thinking.
There's no last thought. Okay, that's a good last thought.
Look, get all the information on us hackers, but hack everyone, including Mark Zuckerberg, and then it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant.
Okay. So keep hacking, hack the hackers, and then when at least everything's been hacked, so it's kind of okay.
So experiment with psychedelic drugs, loosen the conditioning, and do away with structures, and just love without structure.
Amazing. Okay, final thought, right?
I think the more they hack us, the more opportunity we have to hack them.
Okay. So we'll keep hacking. We'll be back tomorrow. Thanks everyone for taking part today. It's been a good session, and thank you everyone. And we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks to Rowan. Thanks to Hackstock as well, where we're here. We finished off talking about hacking. Back tomorrow.